Welcome back to a new episode of the UNIgreen podcast. In this first episode dedicated to mobility, we'll help students better understand one of the most popular international opportunities, the Erasmus Plus exchange. Together, we'll explore what Erasmus really is, how it works, and why it's much more than just a semester abroad. To bring the topic to life, we'll hear directly from Catarina Marques, who works at the International Office at the Politécnico University of Coimbra, and who will share expert insights on Erasmus mobility, the support available for students, and why this experience can be a real turning point in both academic and personal journeys. Thank you for being with us today. To start, could you briefly introduce yourself and your role in relation to Erasmus and student mobility?
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Catarina Marques and I work at the International Office at Politécnico University of Coimbra. For several years now, I have been closely involved in supporting students who want to take part in international mobility programs, particularly Erasmus. My role is mainly to guide and support the students through the entire mobility process, from the initial information stage to the period abroad and their return.
Thank you for that introduction. Let's start from the beginning, because for many students, Erasmus is a word they hear often but don't always fully understand. How would you explain what the Erasmus Plus exchange is and who it is designed for?
In very simple terms, Erasmus is mainly to allow students and to help them to go abroad. They can spend some time studying or training as part of their degree. They can have several experiences, they can study, they can train, or they can gain some experience despite the curricula. It's important to express that it's not a break from studies. It's part of the academic path of the student. And also it's important to state that Erasmus is designed for a very wide range of students. You don't need to have a specific profile. There is not just one Erasmus profile, and that's one of the program's strengths, because it's not a program for students who already have an international experience or feel extremely confident. In fact, many participants go to an Erasmus experience as the first time abroad. And you could also have different fields of study. You can be a student from a short cycle, undergraduate cycle, master, or even doctoral student. It's open for students with different backgrounds, different personal situations. One of the most important things in Erasmus is inclusion. It's important that the inclusion is the opportunity to make the international opportunities accessible to as many students as possible. And overall, Erasmus gives students the chance to learn in a new environment, experience another culture, and develop transversal skills that they don't have usually the opportunity to experience within a classroom and with only a classroom-based learning alone.
Who is Erasmus designed for, and what types of mobility and destinations are available today?
Yes, as I stated in the previous question, Erasmus is designed for a very diverse group of students, from short cycle to bachelor, master, doctoral students in several levels of higher education. One important point is that Erasmus is not only about studying abroad. Today, there are several types of mobility that are available. If you are a student and if you study, you can study in a partner institution, but you can use one more flexible options. You can use a shorter mobility period or blended mobility, which combine a physical component with a virtual component. This is particularly helpful for students who may not be able to be abroad for a full semester. That's an important thing. When it comes to destinations, Erasmus offers a wide range of opportunities. You can study in an European country, as many and most students choose this opportunity. But there are also opportunities behind Europe, depending on in each institution's agreements and partnerships. Overall, the program is designed to adapt to different academic tracks, personal circumstances, and also motivations. As I state, there is no just one Erasmus profile, and the diversity is one of the program's strengths.
Once students understand what Erasmus is, the next question is usually very practical. What does the Erasmus exchange process usually look like for a student, from application to return?
Usually, the Erasmus process follows a clear structure. Even the exact details can vary from one institution to another. But it usually starts when the student shows interest and is looking for reliable information. Most often, the students go to the international office or mobility services, and it's where the students go to collect information and learn about possible destinations, requirements, deadlines, and the different options that might suit them. After that first step, we have the application itself. And the students always apply through the home institution. They choose their preferred destinations, prepare the study or the training plan, and they are always supported by the home institution, by the academic or administrative staff. Of course, they are not expected to manage everything on their own. They will always have the support of the IT, International Relations Office, or the mobility services. Once students are selected after the application processes, there are a preparation phase before departure. This includes finalizing the academic agreements, taking care of the practical arrangements, and receiving information about life abroad. After that, during the mobility period, students also stay in contact with both the home and host institutions, and when they return, there's a final phase focused on recognition. Recognition is a very important phase of the mobility process. We will also collect feedback and at the international office, and making sure the experience is fully recognized. Erasmus is a structured and well-planned experience that is integrated in the student's academic journey, from the very first idea to the return to the home institution.
How is academic recognition ensured so that students don't lose time in their studies?
Academic recognition is a central part of the Erasmus experience. We must ensure that the main goal is to accomplish the studies, and they are studies or training, and they are fully recognized at the end. We have a training agreement or study plan, and before the mobility begins, students agree all the subjects they will have at the host institution, or the traineeship plan that they will accomplish at the host institution, and that's signed by all the parts involved in this process. This plan clearly sets out which activities they will have and that will be completed abroad, and how they will complete it and recognize it after the student returns. Because everything is agreed in advance, students know exactly what expected from them, and how their work abroad fits into their academic journey. They will not have surprises because everything is prepared in advance. Of course, if there are changes needed during their stay, there are clear procedures to make a new revision of the plan, and everything is approved during that process. So Erasmus is designed for students to have a very good experience, and they can go abroad with confidence and knowing that their academic path is protected.
Another major concern for many students is whether going abroad is financially realistic. What kind of financial support does Erasmus Plus provide to students?
You know that it's a big concern for students, the financial support during the mobility, and of course prior to mobility, because they have expenses like lodging that they need to pay in advance. Erasmus provides financial support to help students manage the additional costs of studying or training abroad. The idea is not to pay everything, but to make the international mobility more accessible and easier to plan. It's not expected to cover all the expenses, but the idea is to cover the difference between the cost of living from your home country to the host country. The main support is a monthly grant, and the amount of the grant depends on factors such as the destination country or the type of mobility. We have different groups of countries, and according to the mobility, if you are planning a study mobility or a training mobility, you have different grants. And the value of the grant will help you with the costs of accommodation, travel, and day-to-day living expenses. Is basically for that. And if you are a student with fewer opportunities, if you are included in that type of student, there may be extra financial support for those students. The aim of these opportunities is to reduce financial barriers and ensure that the student's economic situation does not prevent them from taking part in Erasmus. At the same time, institutions usually provide guidance and financial support for these students, and in a way that they can plan their mobility in an informed and realistic way.
How does the program support students with fewer opportunities or specific needs?
Inclusion is one of the core principles of Erasmus, and the idea is that international mobility should be accessible to all students, regardless of their personal, social, or economical barriers. For that reason, the program includes some specific measures for students with fewer opportunities or particular needs. This can include financial support, tailored guidance, and more flexible mobility formats. In this case, institutions also play an important role by offering individualized support, helping students find solutions that fit consensus. We can, at institutions, we may adapt to the duration of the mobility, choose the most suitable destination, or provide even more preparation prior to the departure. It's important to state that if someone is interested in mobility, but it feels like their situation could be a barrier, the best thing to do is to talk to the international office and explore the options that are available, because Erasmus is designed to open doors, not to close them.
Even with all this support, many students hesitate because of common misconceptions. Do students really need to speak perfect English or the local language to go on Erasmus?
That's one of the most misconceptions about the perfect English. Students don't need to speak perfect English or the local language to go abroad on Erasmus. In fact, very people do, and no one is native from the English country, so In reality, Erasmus is a learning experience when it comes to languages, and many students improve their skills when they are abroad. By simply being immersed in the culture during their stay, they have access to different environments, different linguistic and cultural environments, so that's important for them. And courses are also offered in several languages. For that, motivation and the capacity of communicate is important, not perfection. It's important also to say that Erasmus provides online language courses before and during the mobility to help students feel more confident. So rather than seeing language as a barrier, students should see Erasmus as an opportunity to develop their language skills in a natural and practical way.
Is Erasmus only for top students or very outgoing people?
In reality, students with very different academic profiles and personalities take part in Erasmus. Some students are very social, some are very shy, but some feel confident at the beginning, some others don't. But Erasmus isn't about being perfect or fitting in certain profile. It's about being open to learn and willing to step into new surroundings. Sometimes students, when they describe themselves as shy at the beginning or unsure, they say that Erasmus helped them become more confident and self-confident and more independent. I think the experience itself often brings out strengths that students they didn't realize they have. So the experience of being on Erasmus is for anyone who is curious, motivated, and ready to go.
Before we wrap up, let's imagine a student who is still unsure but curious about mobility. What is the one key message you would like to share with students who are thinking about Erasmus but haven't decided yet?
For many students, Erasmus it's often a real turning point on a personal level as well. Living and studying in another country pushes students out of their comfort zones in a very practical ways. Even simple daily life situations like managing a budget or finding accommodations or simply communicating in another language help students to be more independent and self-reliant. Students also learn how to adapt to different teaching styles, cultural norms, and even different ways of thinking. And that openness to difference is something that will help them through their life, not only during the mobility period. Very often, students return with a stronger sense of who they are, what they are capable of, because they realize that they can face challenges, solve problems, and succeed in a different country, in a new context. From my perspective, this kind of personal growth is one of the most valuable outcomes of the Erasmus experience.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us. Catarina Marques, it has been a pleasure learning more about the Erasmus Plus program and mobility opportunities at a European level. What we've heard shows that Erasmus Plus is not just a program, it's an opportunity to grow, to learn in a new environment, and to build skills that last well beyond university. Don't forget, Erasmus is more than just a semester abroad. It's a chance to discover the world and yourself. This was Move with UNIgreen, your guide to mobility. See you in the next episode, and maybe in another country.